What's going on, good people of the internet? It is time once again for Comics Unmasked, the podcast where a bunch of folks shoot the breeze and talk about comic books and such. We are back for episode, I'm going to say this is 31 because we'll let the Morgan Hampton interview be 30. That way it's like the big premiere thing. This will be 31. We have officially gone through like a whole month's worth of episodes for y'all over the course of 5 months. We have officially gotten you a month's worth of episodes, which is insane to think about. So we definitely appreciate y'all. Like, thank you. Also, I want to give a big shout out. Thank you to everybody who has been watching the Joseph Illidge interview. It is now our most watched episode on every platform. We appreciate y'all for that.
I am so happy to hear that.
Yeah, no, it is blown up to where it's like over 200 like listens and whatnot just on Spotify. It's like 80 to 100 on YouTube. It's like, hey, if y'all can like subscribe to the YouTube channel too, that'd be really good. I'd appreciate that. But like, we appreciate y'all most definitely. Make sure you're following us on Spotify, Apple, all those places. Make sure you can check us out on Instagram, Twitter. Like, I keep it separate from my stuff. That way y'all can still support the show and in its own existence if you just don't like me. Like, if you like me, and like that's fine. You can like B. I'm a little salty because B's TikTok about last week blew up, and I was like, "Damn it, B! Well, like you could have put that on the main channel."
I know. I really should have just threw that on the main channel. I didn't think it was going to blow up, though. Like, I thought TikTok was going to take it down in, like, a day or so, because, to be fair, I'm using a slur in there. So, like, TikTok should have, like, stripped that down immediately.
It's not
but,
actually
like,
a slur. But
listen. They have weird guidelines for it. Apparently, if I say exactly. And so I was immediately, like, ready to be like, oh, all right, gets taken down. I go in there, make some edits, and then I try to get some boost off TikTok to be like, they took my video down, you know? But, like, they left it up. And I was like, what are you guys doing? You know, you let me
plan.
Right?
Right. Like, we had a whole plan and like you didn't execute it TikTok. But we'll definitely be talking about that in a little bit. But like, obviously, B, we appreciate you being here. How was your week, good sir?
Oh, I had a great week. It's Valentine's Day and I had to go to work, and I would just have to say, I love being in a relationship and both of us having to work that same day, because we didn't talk about what we were going to do for Valentine's Day. And my favorite thing was she went to work. I had to go like 3 hours later. So I'm like, flowers, get flowers. I'm set. I'm good. I'm on the phone with her talking, being like, I'm just doing my running around. And she goes, oh, on Monday when we do our Valentine's get together, can we go get flowers? Meanwhile, I look over into the right there, and I already have a vase of flowers sitting in the car. And I'm like, yeah, babe, we'll definitely go get flowers. We'll definitely go do that. And then I'm sitting there and I'm like, yes, I'm on top of it this year. I don't gotta struggle. We got our plan set. She's gonna be surprised. I get to work, go throughout my day, and then like last 30 minutes, I get a call from her and she's like, oh my God, thank you for the flowers. I wasn't expecting this. We don't have to go shopping on Monday for flowers. This is great. And so I cleared up my Monday schedule. We were able to hang out, play video games, and do Stardew. So Valentine's Day, great.
Very nice, very nice. Then we have potentially a new host for us, or at the very least, if she hates us after this, if she at least came through for one episode, and we appreciate her. Like, I was so surprised because girl has so many accomplishments, and she was like, hey, I would love to come through. And I was like, holy crap, it don't make no damn sense. It's crazy. It's crazy. But Tashi, let these people know who you are and what you do all over the internet, please.
I'm Tashi, Natasha, Tashi, take your pick, but you know, no one calls me by my legal name anymore, not even my parents. But I am an actress and comic creator. I am the co-founder of Midnight Comics. I am also editor-in-chief of Midnight Comics. I am also the host of Melanin Minds, which is a podcast that highlights Black women and femmes who are in the comic book industry. And so we've been doing that for 2 years. I'm ready for this next season to start because I got some really exciting people coming on that I am so hype about.
Very nice.
I've loved comic books most of my life and just seem to love them even more in the last few years since I started writing them. So I'm always here for all things comics, all things representation, all things shooting the breeze, all things talking smack about people who deserve to be talked smack about. So hey, you know, I'm
It's
here for all
crazy
the
too.
things today.
It's crazy because like originally last week I was like, should I do this? And then like it kept being a thing all day prior to us talking about it, and I was like, yeah, we're gonna do it. And then I thought it was gonna be fine. We were gonna talk about DCKO and Spider-Man Noir, no big deal. Like Nick Cage getting plastered, no big deal. But then the motherfucker responded, so now we have to dig into that, and it's like, oh,
Again. Did I
again,
just say what I said to Blurred Without Fear? Anyway, I
mm.
was just, or did I no? Did I say it to you and then Blurred responded, or did
I,
I don't
I think it was like, yeah, Blurb responded to it, yeah.
I was just like, I'm gonna need this man to stop responding to things he's already responded to. There's a
Right.
certain time where you just gotta shut the fuck up.
Right. Like, man, you know what? Screw it. We'll talk about DCKO and Spider-Man in a minute. Let's get into this nonsense because I have just been so frustrated. So, if you weren't here last week, there was an incident that had occurred. Shout out to Cosmo on Twitter, where Young Buck called out Rob from Comics Explained, the biggest comic book YouTuber in the world, and was like, "Hey, you are a coon for not supporting Milestone, for not talking ever about Milestone. Why aren't you talking about Milestone? Given the fact that there's a brand new one shot coming up, you could be obviously influencing your followers to support this." And Rob kind of ignored it at first, and then people went into his replies as like the thing went on and were like, "Hey, Rob, why do you follow two white supremacists? Why do you follow Critical Drinker and Nerd Erotic? That's kind of weird, very odd." And then he chose to make two response videos. The first one, he basically just diminished Milestone and reduced it to being the equivalent of FUBU, and he said that it's just black politics. He finds no connection to it. It doesn't resonate with him. That's why he never talks about it. And then he proceeded to talk about how a black story that does resonate with him is the story of Blue Marvel. And that raised a lot of eyebrows. That caught a lot of side eyes. And then he decided to make a follow-up video where he talked about how he follows these two individuals because his father taught him to always hear both sides of the political spectrum. And that blew up. We talked about it. Other people talked about it. Blurred Without Fear talked about it. And that got like cultural impact levels of concern to where even like political drama channels were getting in on it. And that raised a lot of eyebrows. And now Rob has made a follow up to it where he doubles and triples down. He doesn't like change any of his perspective, but then at the tail end of the video he says maybe people have a point that he shouldn't be following these individuals, and then ends the video where he says, "Oh, my wife told me that people might have a point, but I don't know." End video. And it was like, what? And I made one video. I made two videos because I made one video defending Adam Brashear because Adam Brashear was catching a lot of strays because of Rob. And then I made a follow-up video where I basically called Rob straight out without saying his damn name. I straight up said, "Look, you are disrespecting the memory of Dwayne McDuffie. You cannot stand. I can't stand for that." I bought all 4 compendiums of the Milestone era, and I pre-ordered the 5th one today because it comes out in July. And I'm going to tell people about these stories. I'm going to support the new book coming out. I interviewed Joseph Village. I'm not going to let people just deal with your crap. I'm going to give them people they can look up to and not worry about this. And it blew up overnight. That was crazy. And then I put up a meme about it where I was like, "Don't just remember, kids. Rob thinks Milestone is equal to FUBU." And everybody and their mama had an opinion about it. Where you had either people like dick riding Rob, or you had people having to explain what I meant to these dick riders. And then I think the one that made me kind of just sit back and go, "Damn, this blew up," was Gail Simone weighed in.
Yep, she sure did. Oh,
And
we
when
got
Gail Simone said something, that told me we were in hot water, where it was like, she straight up said, "Disrespecting Dwayne McDuffie is crazy."
Mm-hmm.
And Tashi, you are obviously the new person in the room. How do you feel about this situation?
Oh man, I watched Rob Comics Explained in Comic Storian for years. And like, while I kind of was like, really? I was also low key not really super surprised. Um, I've seen this man respond when he's wrong about things, and it's just like, calm down. You don't know everything. I know you know a lot of things about a lot of things, but you don't know everything. I have heard from sources during this part of things that apparently he's done some things that are very anti-black women as well. He doesn't like black women. I'm like, I can neither confirm nor deny because I don't know about those things, but if so, that's just making me even less like, nah. And I got plenty other comic book channels I can watch that are black people, so I don't need his channel. And I really feel like if he was smarter, he'll be fine for the most part, because unfortunately that's just how these things go. But if he was smarter, he just would have kept his mouth shut. Especially now that you made Gail mad, you don't play with Gail. You do not play with Gail at all.
Yeah, that blew me away. When I saw Gail say something, that told me we had reached a whole new level of, oh shit. Like, that tells me that, like, Rob might have burnt some bridges in the industry type shit. And that struck a chord with me. And it's funny, too, because the one thing that everybody kept making comments about was Rob's profile picture and Rob's banner, where he looks very light, like lighter than both me and B. And that was a concern for a lot of individuals. And here's the thing. I've actually gotten commissions from the guy who did Rob's art. Because like back when the show was called Panel to Panel, the guy who did Rob's art did my art for like Panel to Panel's logo. And he also did the logo for my Destiny 2 podcast. And I emailed him. I was like, hey, like, can you comment on this? Like, this is very odd. Did Rob choose this, or like, did you put it this way and Rob not say anything? And he straight up said that, like, no, like I drew. I'll read it to you. He said Rob didn't request this color. I don't believe ever gave me any feedback after I had drawn the headshot. If he did, I definitely would have changed it or made updates. I believe this headshot on his channel was for a series I did that included a bunch of people, including Benny. Usually I do my best to match skin color based on images that are provided to me, but never intend on making anyone appear to be a different race. And of course, would make any updates if requested. But again, I don't believe he had any issue with it. Here's the thing. I requested myself to be darker, like when like this person drew me, and he was very kind and took care of it for me on a previous commission. So the fact that Rob didn't say anything is insane. That like it was very telling that he would not choose to say anything. Maybe he just assumed that was the like dude's style. Maybe I don't know, but it was very odd for dude to be very open and candid. Like, hey, no, he didn't say anything, and I'm like, and it's just like that's almost worse than him choosing to be that light. He just didn't say anything.
It very much feels like for me because like Rob put his foot in his mouth is basically how it feels, because he could have just said, I don't like Milestone, that's why I don't cover it, stopped right there. Understandable, right. I get that, it's cool. But then it's all of these things to where once you then open the book from what you post on Twitter to these 2 reply videos, that you then have to start doing this deeper dive, that it almost feels like you're either don't feel like you don't want to stand up for yourself for your black side because you don't connect to it, which if you don't, that's perfectly understandable too. Not everybody has to connect to their black side to the deepest of levels all the time. You're a mixed person, could be a mixed person. He's light skinned from my knowledge. So I would think that, he would have a deeper connection than what I would feel like I have, because I got black, Japanese, I've got white in me. So it feels like there's contradictions sometimes when you get pulled in multiple different directions,
Most definitely.
But at the end of the day, I can look at a photo of myself and be like, I don't like that photo. And especially I take this back to like old cameras on cell phones, because they would really whitewash me when I'm in like color and stuff like that. And then I would look a lot like super pale. And I'm like, that doesn't feel like me. That doesn't represent what I represent, what I feel like I want to represent. And this is kind of what it sounds like from Rob, is that he doesn't want to represent this, which he talks about. I don't want to be a mouthpiece for Black politics, which is
whatever that means.
Concerning, because the fact that everything that has to do with Black people is political is insane, especially when you actually go through the Milestone universe. It's not just Black people. You got Jewish people, you've got white people, you've got trans people, you've got a whole dynamic of things that goes on in this universe that a lot of people don't know because they haven't given it a shot, that a lot of people might actually enjoy if you just talk about it. You don't have to say this is the best thing in the world, but just say something.
Yeah.
Right. And it's like you said, he put his foot in his mouth. He should have just not said anything at the very least. But if you're going to say something, stop at, I just don't like this. I don't like Milestone. I don't connect with it. I don't enjoy it. The end. That's why I don't talk about it. And you would have been good. But now you've not only insulted Milestone, but you've demeaned what Fubu was when Fubu came at the same time. And I'm glad some people made posts about that, because the impact of Fubu was astronomical. I remember
Most
having
definitely.
Fubu in middle school. Like, Fubu was it for us back then. And
For sure.
I couldn't afford a lot of Fubu. So to have a little bit of Fubu, even if it was the ugliest lime green Fubu sweatpants, and I just
You
only
rocked that shit
like this because they were ugly. I
remember finding a Fubu hoodie at the flea market, and I was like, oh shit, like that was legit. And it just, when he said that, and what's so funny is I feel so bad because somebody found a like class photo of Rob from when he was a kid, and he had a Fubu jacket on, and it was like, oh no, and it just, it's like you put like it's someone even was like, damn, he just like referenced his own childhood and didn't even think about it. And it's like, and what was so annoying was there were so many like people who were trying to be Fubu Defense Squad rather than hearing Rob's tone and the inflection and the concern that people have, because not only are you demeaning Milestone, you're trying to treat Fubu like it's a bad Tyler Perry movie that people are actually trying to recognize that is bad.
So
or
the
like
average Tyler Perry movie.
I mean,
coming from a theater background, I love that, because you wouldn't imagine how many like people here in Utah that are like Black just go like, he has ruined everything, and it makes it so difficult for us here because we got to be like, yeah, it's a good movie, but like let's get on to some other stuff now.
Right,
oh my God, Tyler Perry.
It's one of those things where it's like, when it's so tokenization Black, where it's like you're putting a stank on it that puts it in a perspective where people don't want to mess with it, where you're degrading not only Fubu, but you're degrading Milestone by trying to act as if Fubu is a bad thing. Like, oh, it's Black shit made by Black people. And it's like, that's not accurate. That's disrespectful. And like, and I stood on business and said, you are disrespecting Dwayne McDuffie, you are disrespecting Dennis Cowan, Michael Davis, Christopher Priest, Derek T. Dingle, all these individuals that worked at Milestone. And it's like, I get it, because on face value, when you look at Milestone, you see Hardware, Icon, Static, like the front members of the Blood Syndicate. So you see Black instead of cishet white males being the standard front people. Exactly. And that raises the eyebrow and makes you think, oh, this is Black shit, when it's not just Black shit. It's the real world outside your door. We're just not putting the white man in front of everybody and trying to put the white man in charge. And that's concerning to individuals. It's just, it cracked me up too, because like he tried to act as if Ernie Blur Without Fear like upset him. And it was like, why not reach out to him? You have like, I have it on good authority that like he hasn't unfriended or blocked him on Discord. You could easily reach out to him and talk about this. You could have a live stream with him.
Nah, he tried that. I had a screenshot from a video from a different creator. His name starts with a C. I don't remember who had made
Sarah. I think it was Sarah. Yeah, Sarah's made a whole freaking live stream with Rob
about it, and Ernie had commented on it, and then Rob had commented on it. So I had actually screenshotted it, showed it to Ernie, and he was like, "I saw that shit." I was just like, "Seriously, really? Okay, nah."
It's just like, why not try to listen rather than tear down is what I'm trying to like get at. Is like, you would think if you actually cared about your black fans, if you cared about like your non-white fans, you would listen, you would understand. And like, I think the thing that we even kind of sit on last week, and what a lot of people were kind of sitting on, even like Ernie said, if you just want to make your bread, Rob, fine. If you want to talk about DC, Marvel, nothing but hell, he even made a video for Storm last week because it was a brand new book. I was like, all right, but don't act as if Milestone was lesser because it was made by black people. Right. Because that means you don't care about your own culture, you don't care about the achievements of your culture, and the amount of people that were in like my replies trying to defend Rob and say that, oh, Milestone wasn't that big of an achievement. F you. Because how dare you disrespect what Milestone did? Like the audacity to do so is insane to me. Like, I just finally got a copy of the Milestone Generations documentary that we're going to show in the Discord next week because DC took it down from HBO Max, and I don't understand why. And it's like, this documentary speaks so much about our culture and what we do and what we try to do. And it's like, now you've irritated me to where we're going to start having more people on here that like, it was already in the wings. It was looking like April. Now you're about to make it March. Now you're about to make me move up my plans even more because you've made it to where I have to highlight these individuals because DC and Marvel don't care. And I even said, and Joe Savillage even said it, DC is not going to beat the allegations when it comes to people calling them discrimination comics if May, June, July solicitations come and there's no Static book, there's no Hardware book, Icon book, Mr. Terrific book, Vixen book. Like, Stephanie Williams is out here saying, I want a Vixen book. Where's the announcement?
I'm pretty sure she pitched. She's just waiting at this point.
Like, that's the craziest thing too, is because like you even talk about this on the they talk about this on the interview. It's $1 million company. Like, Static himself is $1 million character, but this is $1 million company that they could literally just allow to be there. That's all we're even asking from DC, is allowing to exist, allow these characters to be in this world and just thrive. That's just all we're asking. But like, we can't get one ongoing issue. And I love Poison Ivy, but they could give Poison Ivy 50 issues. They can give Batman all of the issues and all of this other stuff. They can give Harley Quinn her 100 issues.
That's what it was, Mayor.
Mayor of Gotham.
And that's the thing, is to where I love her character. I love everything. I'm a Harley Quinn fan, like all of that stuff. Great stuff, you know? But at the end of the day, thanks for giving me Ivy when I could have been given a Static. I could have been given a Hardware. Icon and Rocket would have been just as good. He's been talking about Vixen for forever now, which is a layup. That's literally a layup for you guys. That's all you guys got to do, is put a Vixen out there, and I guarantee the majority of people are going to buy it and encourage an ongoing, and just throw your money at you, DC. We do it for Black Panther and Storm 90% of the time. So like, why are you just letting this one kind of just sit there? It just really feels like you don't care, Discrimination Comics.
They don't. That's actually how we bonded before.
before you got here, B. We were like, Vixen needs love, and it was hilarious. And it's just funny too. Like, do you know how easy? Like they always say, like, oh, we put Batman in other books, that way it'll sell more. Do you know how easy it would be to do like a Batman and Vixen variant cover, but the only thing you see from Bruce is him paying for like McCabe styled suits for like when he's on incognito shit, like McCabe level tuxedos type shit, and you just see on the like lapel, you see a little totem. Do you know how clean that would be? Clean. It's such an easy layup, like B said, and I'm just like, how are we thinking of this, but y'all haven't thought of this? Like, it breaks my brain.
They don't want to think of it. That's
because
every time she does show up, it just pisses me off more.
It blows my. I think it was I forget who it was, but someone even said this week, you can tell the health of Black characters in the DC universe by how Vixen's being treated. And I was like, damn. Like, you know, Like, that's a crazy statement, but it ain't wrong either. So it just, and the thing is, I'm even kind of glossing over the fact of like Rob following white supremacists because truthfully, I don't have time for it because if Rob's gonna be an idiot, Rob's gonna be an idiot. And if he wants to listen to them when all like, I think that's the part that really annoyed me when it was like, oh, I want to hear what they have to say about politics. It's like, like X has a search button, right, bruh? Like,
This is the crazy thing is like I like myself my Eminem, and I'm interested in what Tom McDonald's doing. Doesn't mean I'm gonna go buy Tom McDonald's album and subscribe to his page so I can listen to what's going on there. You know, like I can get clips, I can get audio things, and be like, all right, that's trash, put it down. You know, like that's basically how you should take that, Rob. Whenever you listen to these people, is all right, I listened to that, that's trash, put it down, and then go back to whatever you want to enjoy. You know, but the fact that you subscribe to these people, you allow them to be on your algorithm, that means you are putting yourself in their community and having people from their community come and interact with you. And that is not a welcoming thing for a page for people who are people of color, because that means I'm not going to dip up in there. That means most other people aren't going to dip up in there. And I try to think of myself as the average consumer. I work 2 jobs and I like to buy comics. I listen to comics online too. I haven't subscribed to this dude because his comic section was never feeling the most welcoming to somebody who was like me.
Yeah, it's crazy too. Like I just like you gotta follow a motherfucker to hear what they gotta say. Like,
right. I don't even follow half the celebrities.
right? Like it's
I,
crazy.
I don't have an issue with Beyonce or anything, but I'm like not even a Beyonce fan. But even I saw the bob she wore at the Super Bowl. Like,
right?
It's gonna get if it's important enough. You'll see it.
Mm-hmm.
Right, especially because like we float in black circles, you're gonna see black shit at some point. Like I saw Blue Ivy do her little traditional little stunt jump. Like I saw it. Like, do I follow her? No. Do I follow Jay-Z? No. Like it's just like it's one of the things where it's not a concern, especially because like apparently Jay-Z left the country once the Epstein files dropped, and I was like, oh, so that was funny. But anywho, the point of the day is, and I'll even say this. You know what, Rob? If you like, you even kind of told Sarah's TV that you're like, oh, you're like, I figured you were one of the only people that wouldn't like call me a coon off rip. Here's the thing, Rob. I won't call you a coon. I think you're misguided. I think you are exhibiting coon behavior, and people are calling it out thus forth. But I think you're like similar to myself. You just haven't been humbled and taught about your culture. And that's the issue at hand. Where like, cause I grew up in an environment where like I was raised by a white mom. Like I was hungry to be a part of my culture, but my dad wasn't the best all the time. So I wasn't around it all the time. But I had to seek it out for myself and start to actually be involved in my culture and whatnot. I don't think Rob has done that. And that is a big problem that he has to deal with. And there's going to come a day where he gets humbled, but it's going to take a long time because there's a lot of people co-signing his shit and making him feel validated.
Yeah.
So, Rob, if you would like to come onto this show and talk about your issues, by all means, my DMs are open, but you're going to have to sit there and be willing to answer for your shit. Because the first thing I'm going to ask you is how can you like Adam Brashear but dislike Augustus Freeman? Because unless you can tell me you've read all of Icon, or at least the first 6 issues of Icon, and compared it to the first 6 issues of Adam Legend Blue Marvel, I can't like give you a fair bone to scratch on, because it's very obvious that Kevin Grievous took a lot of the inspiration from Blue Marvel from Augustus Freeman. That's all I got. Y'all got any closing thoughts on that?
You might actually relate to Icon a little bit more than Blue Marvel. I'm just saying. If you read a single Icon book and know what he's about, his journey might actually not be that dissimilar from your own. I'm just saying.
I love that. I love that. That's a great way to put that. So we're going to go ahead and move on from that. So let's dig into, we got the surprise drop this week that Amazon and Sony Pictures released the trailer for Spider-Man Noir. And I want to be excited for this. I want to be like down to clown with this. I will say the moment of the trailer that really got me hyped was when Nick Cage was just like, I got plastered after beating up these guys. And I was like, You know what? I resonate with that because if I had a rough night fighting crime, I'd need me a drink too. Damn it! And like that was a really cool way to play that. I still think the one thing that really irks me about this show, and you can tell a like PR team came to Sony and was like, I don't think it's a good idea for you to call him Peter Parker. I was like, like I thought that was a bad choice. B, what are your thoughts on this trailer?
So, if they would have done this right, they would have named him Peter Parker, and they would have tied this to the Spider-Verse in some kind of way, and would have just been like, this is a future aspect of him, this is a past aspect of him. It's still the same Spider-Man, a different universe, something along those lines. But like, I just hope that in the movie or in the TV show that they decide to do like this is his code name because they're trying to refer to stuff in the comics and be cutesy, but he's actually named Peter Parker, like something like that. I always have to put the hope in there first, and then now it's I'm going to go in there and turn off my brain and hopefully just have fun with it. That's the best way I can describe it, because I don't think that I'm going to get anything too revealing and excellent from the vibe that I'm getting. It just feels very much of just like, we're going to give Nicolas Cage some live action time as Spider-Man because he's always wanted to be Spider-Man, which, to be fair, cool. I'm down with that. Nick Cage is a comic book dude, so he's gonna hopefully take the role of this character seriously. And I'm a fan of Batman, so that noir and all the detective work stuff better just be good, and he better give me actual noir stuff with detective stuff. I need to see him breaking down a case. I need to see him discovering things. I need to see the bad guy interaction and him having to do an interrogation scene. Like, there's going to be certain things in there that you need to do, else you just filmed it in black and white and called it noir, and I'm going to be very angry about that.
That's a fair way to put that. I agree with this vibe. Natasha, how you feeling? How you feeling?
All the vibes. I personally enjoyed the trailer overall, but like the Peter Parker thing is a little concerning. It definitely better absolutely have a noir feel to it, because I'm a huge detective noir fan, to the point where I decided to write my own. I need this to be like that, especially since it's not only Nicolas Cage want to be Spider-Man, a lot of us wanted him to be Spider-Man. And so if y'all mess this up, this is going to disappoint all of us.
Mm-hmm.
All of us. So it is so important that this is done the right way. And I'm hoping this was just, this is the first trailer. And maybe they're doing trailers right for once, where they're giving us a lot, but they ain't not really giving us anything. Because that's how trailers really should be in anyway. So the fingers crossed. I'm hopeful. Grew up, I'm a huge X-Men fan, but I'm a Spider-Man lover. My brother is a huge Spider-Man fan, so I know he's excited for this. So if y'all piss my brother off, I'm gonna have to come fight y'all.
It's crazy too, because like I will say, I forget brother's name who was in the trailer. Like, I've seen that dude go from being a content creator to now out here in the streets, and it's crazy to see how actors can evolve and do more in the industry over time. And I definitely was excited to see him in this, because genuinely it looks exciting, it looks dope. And I will say, I'm more excited. Like, I'm gonna be so confident when I say this. I'm more excited for this project than I am for Brand New Day, because genuinely, I was fine leaving Tom Holland behind. Like, you could have said Tom Holland had some adventures and finished off being Spider-Man down the road. I don't need another one. You're gonna give it to me, and it's gonna have Scorpion, like it's gonna have Bruce Banner in it for some reason. It's gonna have freaking Punisher in it, and I'm just like I know there's a contract where like Sony says you have to put a Marvel character in these movies, but like, does it need to have this many people to where Peter can't be on his own? Like, that's the big issue that has plagued me about this entire franchise when it comes to this version of Spider-Man this entire time. Like, brother can't be on his own for 5 minutes. You got to bring in somebody. You got to bring in either
a mentor somewhere.
Right.
Can he just be Spider-Man?
It would be nice to maybe see like a team up kind of thing. Like, they have American Chavez, they've got Hawkeye's sidekick, they've got so many things going on to where it could be like a feeling of somebody on equal footing, maybe him mentoring these people and being like, hey, let's keep the neighborhood a little bit safer. I know you're used to working with the Avengers guys who get to use big explosions, but we got to keep things finite here. Something, like make this more fun for us than the Spider-Man 3 fest that I feel like I'm going to get.
Very much so. And it's just like, I'm sitting here watching this, because the trailer has like semi-leaked. I've seen blurriness, and I'm just like, I'm sitting here wondering, like, what more can you give me that I haven't already seen? Like, it's gonna end at some point with him having to reunite with his fiance, and it's going to be over. And we're not going to need any more of this. He'll probably show up in Secret Wars. He'll be in a black suit. Because if you haven't been watching the Key Collector app, which I keep an eye on because speculators have been hilarious lately, everybody in their mama has been like selling and buying and getting CGC copies of the first appearance and like the second appearance of the black suit for like months now, because they're putting money on this movie ending with him getting a symbiote. And I'm just like, he heard about an alien black goo thing at the end of the last movie. Do you really think he's gonna get black goo here, or are you just assuming because Secret Wars and Spider-Man line up real good? That's the issue that I have, where I'm just like, I don't see Marvel pulling that trigger, but like, if you see him pulling that trigger, I'll just watch the stock market play around for a little bit. Speaking of which, if you didn't see, the Spider-Man Noir #1 shot up in price because of this trailer. That was hysterical. Like,
I have it already.
Like, we're up, like you could sell that bitch for what, $600 right now if you want to.
I can't ever come to sell my comics.
I love the idea.
I love the idea.
Exactly. I love the idea of it, but at the same time, I'm like, I've already put too much time into this and I've gone full throttle now. So at this point, if I end up selling it, then I'm scraping by and trying to make sure I'm eating the next day at that point.
I might sell my PS5 before I sell.
Exactly.
Yep. I'm saying the Xbox is going to go before the comics do at this point.
Bro, did you see that, like, in the UK now, you can lease a PS5 for $10 a month?
God, we were talking about that earlier today. They're trying to make that a whole thing so that you'll also rent the game.
I already don't own my video games. Let me own something at the end of the day.
And here's the thing, B. It's not like Rent-A-Center where, like, you'll own it at some point. No, it's a 36-month lease, and then you gotta send it back when it's done.
Why would I do that? Why would I? The graphics card in the PS4 is worth more than whatever I'm renting it for at this point. Like, why would you do that? I already hate Nintendo as it is for how bad I have to go get like a Switch 2 to play the new Pokemon game as an example, Like,
no, you ain't got to. You can play Switch 1 on the new
No, the issue is I lost my Switch. I went on vacation and then it's in between here and Puerto Rico and I have no idea where it is. And that means I either got to go buy a new one or hopefully go buy a refurbished one. And I'm just kind of not wanting to throw my money towards Nintendo right now.
Yeah, it's sad, and like I'm watching this like go down. Even I think it was Morse Critical who said where we're edging towards an economy where we will own nothing and be happy about it. And it's like
we won't be happy, but y'all can pretend we are, I guess.
That's why I started collecting comics.
We were literally talking about this earlier. How they're trying to we don't own the video games. Everything is a subscription. Like, you can't buy Adobe anymore. You pay for it for a month. Yeah, you can't. There's almost nothing you can just buy now. Everything is subscription service, and if you stop paying, you no longer have access.
That's why I ended up getting comics though, because like at least I can go back, pick that up, and read it 20 years from now, and be like, at least I'm getting a story. At least I can do something with this.
This is why we still have a VCR.
Amen.
That's crazy. I ain't seen a VCR in I don't know how many years. That's crazy.
We own
we own 3. That's insane.
And a DVD player.
Ooh, I have a DVD player because they're like as the Fat Albert Gang once said, I still watch my dividends every once in a while. But no. So trailer looks dope. I'm excited for that. Let's dive into this DC KO nonsense because issue 4 came out, and I feel like Scott Snyder and Joshua Williamson keep I feel as if they're both just walking in like M. Night Shyamalan from Robot Chicken, like, what a twist every week.
What a twist.
And I'm just like, I'm tired. I'm tired of the twist. Like,
my head hurts.
Like, I just want a cohesive story. You ain't got to defy my expectations every time, Scott. You don't got to defy my, like, this could have been just standard. We know what's about to happen. Give me a good fun time and call it a day. Like, the solicitations already say Superman ain't gonna be here in a hot minute. So obviously Clark's gonna do some stupid shit. No, Lex won the competition. I'm like, really? Like, really? And I'm just, I will say, my favorite moment of the whole damn book was absolute Bruce going up against regular Bruce, because of course Bruce got back to for the fight. Of course. Like, at first Bruce is like, that's the ugliest bat symbol I ever seen in my life. And like, he takes it off as an axe and he's like, how about now? It's growing on me. I'm like,
as he towers over
right. And I'm just like, that's a big motherfucker. Like, what?
I think he's what, 7'1", something like that?
No, that's a 12-foot tall man at that point. I'm just saying, if I feel intimidated by this man, he's skyscrapers. It don't matter the height. He's just big enough to make sure he's going to wreck somebody.
It's crazy. And I will say, I do enjoy that Scott Snyder didn't pull any punches, and he genuinely said that absolute Bruce would hate regular Bruce because he's rich. I was like, you know what? Respect, because like absolute Bruce is poor. He about that shit.
He said it too. He said, "Rich boy."
I know. I loved that line so much, and then I have to give respect to how brutal Absolute Batman is in this, because he takes off his horns just so he can just headbutt the back of Superman with the kryptonite and everything. And I was like, oh, my back hurts after seeing that. I need an ice pack myself. That is residual effects from the comic book.
I haven't felt that bad about a backbreaker since Bane broke Batman's back. Like,
honestly, though, like, it's rough out here. I will say, Joker is a bitch. I can't stand Joker's ass because like last time Joker was involved in an event, he teamed up with Batman to help defeat the big bad. This time he was like, "Can I switch teams?" And I'm like,
"Nope, I give up. Can I switch?"
I was like, "Why?"
And then they gave him the ugliest suit.
That suit is so weird. Like, what is that? Like,
they could have Superman fight it. Like, here's the thing that I was kind of hoping for when I like saw the reveal and I was like, okay, he's gonna switch teams. I was hoping they were gonna put like a giant J on there and he was gonna like mock Superman in some kind of way, very Joker-esque, something like that, but no. And then the switch up too, I just gotta say, as a Joker fanatic, there is no way he's going to pass up the chance to kill two Batmen. There is no way Joker is going to pass up the chance to kill two Batmen. If he has the opportunity to kill one, and then a bigger one comes by, and he goes, oh, that's a challenge. That's what Joker thinks. I don't know why he would just switch.
Right.
He wanted to team up Batman, with him.
So I'm happy about it. No.
Right. It's so weird. And they're like, oh, what new parademon was born? I'm like, that's an ugly-ass parademon. That's an ugly motherfucking parademon. It was weird. Absolute Diana versus regular Diana was bad as fuck. Like, that was a crazy ass scene. I loved it.
It's like everybody was having the battle of the one-liners. Because I finally get to use my lasso on an actual horse. First off, Diana, that's a Pegasus, not a horse.
And then secondly, she comes from Themyscira. I just gotta say, I know I've seen horses on that island. Did she never get the opportunity to like trade with the horses, or did she always just use the Amazons and they were always doing mutual combat at this point?
It depends on what universe we're looking at the
whichever one's canon at the time for DC. I'm pretty sure
I've seen her lasso horses
at some point. Like, it's just very odd. I will say, though, I like the moment that they're like, oh, they finally were removed from the dark side energy. But it's like, oh, we lost, though, because dark side shows up. And I'm like, really? really, it's just maybe it's because I've been annoyed by the Booster Gold thing since the first issue. That like, oh,
Okay,
Booster's a
gotcha.
sleeper agent. I'm like, you told us from jump.
You mean
Why
like
not
Ollie
wait?
was back in whatever? I mean, he
You
wasn't a
know,
agent, but
it's just, yeah. Back I think it was Absolute Power. Yeah, it was Absolute Power, and I'm just
hmm
like, I find it weird that you told us so early because now the reveal of literally Darkseid crawling out of Booster Gold, which was a
it's
freaking,
like,
but like it doesn't hit.
duh.
Here's the thing is to where like I read it, I did the reveal, and I'm like, I love the art. Looks good, looks great, you know? I showed that to my girlfriend and she's like, that looks sick. And it's like, it's all about perception and way that you give your audience the, you know, the view of reading your comic. You can't just throw out one of the, not the biggest twists, but a pretty big twist like that
hmm
at the very beginning, because then by the point we get to this point, it's like, I already know the dude's gonna show up. I just need to know how. Oh, Booster Gold? Well, I know something's gonna go on with them. And then now you're gonna throw me into a side story that's in the future and the past that's outside the universe. And then you're gonna tell me that these are the future absolute people. So that way the canon that everything that going on right now is still canon within the absolute universe. So we're not pulling exactly from these people. And I'm like,
And I knew that was gonna happen. I knew for a fact that was gonna happen because, like,
mm,
because everyone, the Bubble was like, "Oh, well, they're doing good, and Clark just got a new suit." I'm like, they're gonna pull it from
Okay.
like day one of the
hmm
book dropping. They're not gonna do it from like down the road, like, because obviously this book was planned out beforehand. Like I
hmm
knew that going into that. That's why when everyone's like, "Oh, why is Oliver there?" It's because Oliver ain't died yet. Oliver ain't dead. Like,
and that's really frustrates me too, because I keep getting on TikTok all of this stuff about like absolute Green Lantern, absolute Green Lantern. Yet I still haven't gotten an absolute Green Lantern announced. I haven't seen anything in trade
you mean
paper or
Green
in like.
Arrow? Because
That's
there's
what
a
I mean.
Labour
Sorry,
book
yeah,
right now.
Green Arrow. That's what I
I think
mean. Green
everybody just
Arrow.
adjusted
There's
to
too
no
many
longer.
greens.
Because like it's multiple
Right.
weeks now
Crazy.
where like B-Rex says some crazy ass shit. I'm like, I'm gonna rewind. I'm gonna fix it. And
Yep, exactly. But sorry, Green Arrow. Like we keep getting
hmm
Green Arrow teasers for the Absolute Universe and stuff like that, and then they're like, "Oh, now we're gonna get an Absolute Green Arrow with oh my gosh, Speedy and everything like that. That's who's gonna come in and do it." I'm like, guys, you need to quit teasing this fan base this,
and just do it.
because just either do it, launch it, or actually give us some Green Arrow stuff, because this fan base is suffering. They're like a dry sponge right now, and they are grabbing at any source of like
It's because your
moisture.
main line is so dry as hell. That's what the biggest issue is. That like, yeah, Fraction's hitting. We all know Fraction's hitting. Wally's getting a new creative team. People are excited about that.
Yep.
Superman's just been like Williamson's killing it, but Williamson's been doing all the books to be tie-ins to the event. Like Titans has been tie-ins to the event. And
hmm
like everyone's looking for the next big thing to be excited about, the next big ongoing to be excited about. And it's just a waiting game, waiting for DC Next Level. And it's just like, we're just waiting. We're just waiting until next month or even a little bit this month where it's like, oh, brand new ongoings, brand new jumping on points. But it's like, it's not exciting for a lot of individuals because this event just feels like it's been dragging for a lot of individuals where it's like the reveals aren't that exciting. The reveal has either been crappy or horrifying in the case of Joker eating people. And I was like, that's crazy. But it's just like some of the fights just don't feel like they make sense.
They don't
It
make
feels
any
like
sense.
it's just picking certain, like, how are you going to tell me that Vixen and Black Lightning don't take out half these numbers? How are you going to tell me that Zatanna and Constantine lost to half these motherfuckers? Like, that's what kills me, is that some of these fights don't make no damn sense. You're telling me that like Cyborg can pick anybody in the like in the entire DC universe, and he picked Connor Hawk. And granted, I felt bad for Connor Hawk getting eaten, but that don't mean I want him to come back and help Vic. Like, what?
No, no. And the reason it feels like it's dragging on is honestly because of the issue I've had for years is there's always an event happening at this point. There's always some world-shattering, world-ending event, and it's been like 3-4 years now that it's been event after event after event after event, and I'm tired It's time to end the
And
events.
I like the idea of an event, but the idea of an event is supposed to be like the ultimate end game for movies. You're supposed to have a build up in there of 10 years that gets you to this event that makes it feel special for some reason, you know? Like when I go back and I read Nubia stuff, I really like Nubia stuff right now because it's not this big total catastrophe that's going to be world ending completely. It's giving me Nubia's origin story. It's giving me what's going on in Themyscira. It's giving me how the island is going to change and just stuff like that. It gives me her becoming queen. It's not this mortal coil of Darkseid is going to come in and ruin the day, you know, which I get that's what we're leading up to. But give me 10 years of that to lead up to that to give me a threat.
I would even say 10 years.
So revolutionary.
Right, Brightest Day was really good. Blackest Night was really good, but it's like the problem with a lot of these books right now is that it feels as if there's no time to calm down and relax.
No.
It feels like, and granted, obviously solicitations are like 3-4 months out, but like I need like a year of solid stories, and then once we hit like the 8th or 9th month mark of that year, you can tell me 6 months, like you can tell me new events coming. Fine. But like, let me get 12 years of some of like 12 issues of some of these stories before you're like, oh, I need to know the next big event. Because the minute I get 6-7 issues down the road and you tell me there's an event coming, I'm gonna be like, bro, I'm enjoying this. I want to know what's going on in this book. I don't need to know what next big level event's happening. Why can't we just enjoy this? It's the problem that we can't just have status quos anymore. Y'all want to have the giant big sales. Y'all want to have these giant crazy events. And motherfuckers are tired.
We're more stressed out than the characters in the stories. We're tired.
And it's just like that's why like I even said previously, that's why like Image killed it last year. That's why Vault was swinging for the fences. That's why Ignition kicked off with Steam. Like we saw these companies straight up be like, hey, we'll give you a break from the crazy. We'll give you fresh jumping on points where you can relax. And that's why Assorted Crisis events popped off. That's why Power Fantasy has been kicking off. And that's what's been so crazy to me is that DC is sitting there like, oh, well, we don't know why our books are selling or aren't selling. Oh, my God. And it's like, you do know. You just don't want to realize it and actually fix your universe. And that's the problem. So that's just me. I don't know. And like, it definitely kills a lot of the enthusiasm when it's like, oh, well, something's going to change in like 6 months, so get ready. Like, can we change things in a year? A year and a half, maybe?
Even like this, we could have like sat with the absolute universe for a little bit longer and just been like, okay, we know Darkseid's got that universe over there, but we also have the main universe over here, and stuff is just, everybody just kind of living like that's just how it is now. And then we do the DCKO. It's like, all right, they finally realized that they gotta stop Darkseid. Like, cool. I did like the flashbacks consistently throughout the series up back to the game night and relating the game night to the fights and stuff like that. That was cool until until Bruce did his usual. Oh,
man,
I'm winning.
I'm Batman
because I had the first.
I'm not cheating. I'm Batman.
I'm able to roll to what I want because I'm Batman, and so I'm not
like oh, I never lose dice. I'm like, Bruce, like, come on, bud. Like,
all the training up in the mountains, I've figured out the weight of every dice in the world and can calculate the perfect roll. Obviously, he's Batman. He can do this. He gets a power up every issue. This DCKO Batman has gotten a power up.
That tells me that Bat Family D&D could never be good. Like where Bruce could never play Bat Family D&D
every time.
Right? Like no, like he would just never lose, and it would just be like horrible. Like he would have to just be an observer to the game because he would always just roll nat 20.
DM or something like
no, because if he was the DM, he would be rolling nat 20s to screw everybody over.
That's also fair. Yep. No.
He would have to fudge his own rolls just to play the damn
Bruce,
game.
You get to play a cat that only gets to do 3 things: meow, scratch, and hiss. That's all you get to do, Bruce.
You will play as someone else's familiar. That's it.
I like that.
There we go. That's good.
To see if you hit.
Very solid, very solid. I like that. And then the other big thing that we wanted to talk about this week, because it was very like endearing. We saw the first reveal the first DC Vertigo book that came out this week. We saw the release of Bleeding Hearts from Dennis Camp and Stepan Morian. I think that's Morian. That's how you say that. Stepan Morian. This book was adorable. This book was fun. It was enjoyable, and I really found myself wanting to know more about Poke. Poke is an adorable little dude who just found out.
Pages.
Yeah, even from a few pages. It's just like he wants to understand the world now that everyone's getting eaten by zombies. And it's such a nice twist because we're always seeing like people trying to survive a zombie apocalypse. But in this case, it's like, oh, well, what if like you start to feel your heart again in a zombie apocalypse? And it's like, all right, I'm willing to run with this. This definitely was a very enjoyable first read. I'm excited to see what we get next month. And I will say, for a first step back into Vertigo, I'm feeling it. I'm feeling it.
I definitely need to finish the issue because I deserved this cute, nice read after everything else.
I highly recommend it. And the best way that I can describe this is as I'm reading through this series, it feels like there's an awakening movement that's happening just kind of across the internet right now, with just the wave of stuff that's going on, to where there's some people's eyes being open to certain things. There's certain people that are trying to be more connected to other things when it comes down to stuff. And, you know, even when it comes down to current controversies that are going on in the comic book community, there's people who are being like, I used to follow this person for a while, and their eyes are being open to that. It feels like this is what this comic book kind of like held for me at this point, because it felt like this character is going through a world and he's going through just the normal everyday process of stuff, and then he just starts thinking. And I think that's the most important thing, is what's going on around me? What's going on in my everyday life? This doesn't feel normal with what's happening, you know? And so I love that connection that this writer put in there, because it wasn't a miss, and it was something I wasn't expecting from a zombie. That's the craziest part, is like, you don't get something so heartfelt like this from the point of view from a zombie, which kind of feels like how we all are in our everyday lives. When you're going to work, doing your normal everyday thing, you feel like a zombie. And that's what I love about this.
It's like when you like regaining your humanity in the best way possible.
Mm-hmm.
It's that Zom 100 first episode where he's just like, I hate my life.
Right. Yep. And it makes you excited to see what else is going to become of what's going on here, because you don't know what they're going to come up with when it comes to the story. I'm excited to see what they cook up in regards to this. So definitely, Dennis Camp, you get a 9.5 out of 10 from me. For a first issue, you get a 9.5 out of 10 from me.
I can respect that. I can respect that.
Every time you say something else, I'm like, I gotta finish it, because I think I'm like, I want to say I'm like 8-10 pages in, and I'm just like, yeah, I want
very solid.
I love these.
We'll definitely have to see where this goes as time goes on. So, like, this has been a pretty solid little short episode. We finally are at the hour mark, and I very much enjoyed that. B, what is one book from next week that you are excited about? We
Mainline Wonder Woman, issue number 30. It's the last one that Jessica Williams is writing, so I'm making sure I'm on that one. Oh my God, Stephanie Williams. I am going through way too many names here. Right, yep. Sorry. Stephanie Williams, issue number 30 for Mainline Wonder Woman. It's the last issue. The first one was absolutely great when it comes to Wonder Woman coming over to the island to relax. And so I'm excited to see how they're able to incorporate all of the Amazonians into this, because this is what the fans like to see and what they've been talking about on TikTok for months now.
Most definitely. For me, I'm excited for the Black Panther 60th anniversary special coming out this week. We are approaching the 60th anniversary of T'Challa, and it has just been kind of sad. I'm excited to see these good stories, but we're living in a world where T'Challa doesn't have an ongoing. He's trapped in a miniseries, a decently written miniseries. Granted, that second issue was a little weird, but in general, I'm excited to see these stories and finally have a little bit of joy. And we're getting stuff from Priest, Ziegler, Narcissus, Iodele. Like they definitely gave us some heavy hitters for this book, and I'm excited to see what comes out with this. that incentive cover is still freaking weird. The Colonial incentive cover is still freaking weird. But other than that, I'm excited to check this book out. Definitely look at that. I'm gonna say, Toshi, is there anything coming out next week you're excited about?
I'm gonna have to piggyback off of B and say not just Wonder Woman, but just anything, Stephanie.
Well, so yeah, Roots of Madness has been the best thing on since sliced bread for a hot minute.
I am so happy I was able to get back issues on that one through my shop. I am so happy I got that one. They were like, "We think we could get two. We think we could get two." And then they were like, "Oh, nope, there's one more of one that we can put on the order for you right now." And I'm like, "Okay, do it. Do it. Hands down, I'll pay $20, $30, $40 for it, whatever you need. I'll throw my money at you now."
See, my comic shop, the closer, they technically have two locations. The closer one doesn't tend to have things that I'm looking for.
That's why you
Roots of Madness issue 1 got there like a month after I already had it. I pre-ordered it.
That's so weird.
They didn't have issue 2. They had issue 3. And like with each of these, they only have like one copy. It's just like,
that's how it goes.
When it comes to that, because of where I am, I just order stuff offline because
that's been the crazy topic that we've been dealing with for a hot minute, where it's like genuinely the thing at hand that we see is that comic shops are like, oh, I bought like some for my subscribers and then I bought one for the shelf. That's been the talk of the town, and people are like, oh, well, why is it that way? It's like, because y'all motherfuckers don't support the books. Why would they, like, especially because, like, and what's funny was someone even like DM'd me the other day and they were like, yo, I had no idea that even if if a store buys something for the shelf, it's automatically still a sale, and and if that book doesn't sell, it's still considered a sale, and the shop is left with that. It's like, yeah, because that's how this shit works, is that like the only way a book is considered a sale is if the comic shop buys it, not if you buy it. Because even if you just like are broke and can't afford your pull list for months, your books are just going to pile up there, and they count as sales, but your comic shop is held liable for it. They have to be the ones to let those books pile up, and if you never come back, they just put them in the back issue bin. And that's when a lot of stores end up closing because of that, because some people don't come pick up their shit. And it's like, well, and it's one of those situations where it's like, people don't understand how the system works. And it's like, I wish people could like definitely learn more about it. And my goal is to have more comic shops on, that way they can like drill it into people's heads. Because there was even somebody who, like, as we were doing the show, would like reply to me on Twitter, and was on Threads. They replied to me on Threads and were like, oh, well, I get my books from the shelf, because if the comic shop puts them in the back, and like in the pull list bins, they get damaged. And I'm like, that doesn't make any sense. That doesn't make any goddamn sense.
I'm gonna let you know somebody is
broke and I can't pre-order it because I don't know if I have the money. We're not the same.
I see. I'm gonna let you know right now that as somebody who works at a comic book shop, we have a very special bin that's designed to be bigger than the comic book and also bigger than the board that the comic book comes in. So that way it slides easily in this box, you see. And then this box, you know what it is? You can purchase this box and then you take it home with you. And then this box is safe at your home. Everybody does these boxes. They're called pull boxes. I just got one recently. It's very cool, actually. It holds my comics and it keeps them safe. That's what comic book shops use.
Well, like some people use a filing cabinet. Like they keep your books safe, dude. Like I don't understand that thought process.
And then the last thing I wanted to jump in there for, when it comes to these pull lists too, I have a gentleman who comes in twice a year at the comic book shop. He has every single Speed Racer comic book variant and everything that is in there every single week. And then he'll come in every 2 months, and my comic book shop tells me, and he drops about $1,500 for everything that came out. And he only comes in twice a month, or twice a year is all it ever is. And then he'll pick those up and then he'll be gone. And then they order everything up again for him and they just let them sit there. These comic book shops are willing to take that hit for you because as much as you guys have a passion for comics, the person who's running these comic book shops have that as much of a passion too, and they want these books to be out there. They even push the independents more than they push the big two because they've read the independent stuff and they know what's good. Go in and talk to these people because they're going to recommend some good stuff to you.
Now, I will say it also depends on the shop.
That is true. Yes, that is also very true. I'm speaking from my local area right now. You might want to vibe out the area, obviously. That is the most important thing.
Because some stores, they're very much like, why would I invest money into a series no one's going to buy? Why? Like, I'll take a chance on a number one every once in a while, but like, why would I buy it if it's not going to sell? Because they're the ones buying the book, assuming you are going to buy it later. And if they're having to be responsible for all this inventory, if you never come back, why are they going to buy it? And that's what a lot of people don't understand. And granted, you can persuade them. You can then change their mind, because if you and a couple other people are buying this book, they will then take interest in it. Like for me, Invader Comics has a Kickstarter going on right now for one of their new books. And when The Digger came out last week, I asked my comic shop, I'm like, hey, how many issues of this did you buy? And he was like, oh, one for the shelf, one for you, and one for me to read because I thought it was cool. And I was like, okay, we need to fix that. Let's work on that a little bit, please. And then I saw they added a retailer tier to the Kickstarter for their new book. And I was like, hey, DM my dude Dave. I was like, hey, can you like get these? Can you like let people know that this cool series is coming out? He's like, sure. And it's like, genuinely, shops do care. Not all of them. Some of them are stuck in the past and they're living like they're little cave dwellers. But like a majority of them wouldn't be putting their money into owning a full location in this economy if they didn't care about at least some of the damn books. So
that's why it's like, again, it just depends on where you are. I live in an area, like, if I could, honestly, if I go out even further into Atlanta, I'm going to get the shops that care a lot more than down here where there's less of us. So,
gotcha.
I did also forget Space Ghost and Captain Planet.
Ooh, wait, Captain Planet. Oh, that's on hiatus, isn't it?
Is it on hiatus now?
Well, so yeah, because we interviewed David Pepos and he said like they don't know when they're doing another volume. It just apparently it didn't sell well. That's another book that just didn't do well apparently. But Space Ghost is doing numbers. Space Ghost is doing great numbers.
Yeah, I was gobbling up.
That made me sad. My nephew was really enjoying the Captain Planet stuff, which is crazy. I can't get that kid to settle down for anything. But Captain Planet and Speed Racer, he was going through them and looking at the pictures. I was so happy.
Every kid has their vice.
I will say.
Or Powerpuff Girls. My son loves Powerpuff Girls. I can get him to be still for Powerpuff Girls. He has comics. He has the box set for the entire series that he got for Christmas. Like, he'll sit down for some Powerpuff Girls.
If y'all need some new things to hit them with, Dynamite got the Disney license. They're releasing some Disney villain shit. They have a Stitch book coming out next week. So like, if you need something to grab onto, rather, that's a lot of Disney shit coming out.
I think I might have to try Stitch for him. He really enjoys the movies.
Yeah, I heard that Gaston book was heat.
Oh, really? I'll have to check that out. Sure. I like me some Gaston sometime. Like, that'll definitely be worth our time. All right. So, definitely got some books to check out. Make sure that you are following us on Instagram, Twitter, Threads, all those great places, folks. Review the show on Spotify and Apple, people. Whoever reviewed the show 3 out of 5 on Apple, I'm gonna find you because that's some bullshit. But also, like, subscribe to the YouTube channel, help us out and whatnot. And we will be back next week. Definitely check out the other episode coming out this week. I interviewed Morgan Hampton, the writer of Cyborg, Green Lantern Corps, that's out right now. And he's also one of the writers on New History of the DC Universe, the Dakota Incident. I almost said New 52. Like, definitely check that book out. Make sure that you pre-order it if you can. I know, like, it's past FOC, but some shops can still get you some books. So definitely try, because that book is going to be heat. Definitely check that shit out. And to the people who were posting on Twitter to Joseph Village when he was reposting our episode and saying they pre-ordered all the variant covers, shout out to you. Shout out to y'all helping people out. Also, great opportunity for people. If you want an opportunity to get a signed copy of the book from Joseph Village and Nicholas Draper Ivy on the 28th, the last day of the month, this is going to sound weird, like, just bear with me. If you go to Whatnot, the Whatnot app or whatnot.com and look up Sexual Chocolate Comics, Sexual Chocolate Comics has teamed up with Joseph Village and Nicholas Draper Ivy to do a signing where if you buy a book during that like event, they will sign it and ship it to you, and you'll have a signed copy. So definitely check that out. Like they bought a bunch of copies that way they could sign them up and like give them to folks. And like you could buy it right there on the app and be able to get it mailed to you. So definitely check that event out. But
why is
we
my
will be back.
paycheck going to be suffering this Black History Month?
You mean it's not always suffering? Because
I mean, it's always suffering, but this month, like, I did gifts. I'm now getting a special gift this next Wednesday, which I can't wait to show JP. And then now I want to do this one. Like, this is this Black History Month.
I'm trying not to let B go on Whatnot like yet, because once B goes on Whatnot, he gonna be broke. It's gonna be a problem.
I want to buy a house one of these days, and I decided to collect comic books. This isn't good.
No. I've been broke ever since Stephanie decided to drop her own independent.
Did you get the Ignition website exclusive variant cover of the #1? It's real good. Go look at that.
But I had to. I was like, I was just like, I have to make sure I have the book, regardless of what happens. I will have this book.
That's why I'm really pressed. Like, I really need Sweet Shop to hurry up and like expand their beta. They said they were going to send down more codes this week, but like, I dead ass need these people to hurry up. Like Kenny, if you're listening, like, let me in. I feel like Eric Andre. Let me in. I want to read Ignition books digitally. I'm tired of having to get them physically. I like reading on my iPad. Let me in, damn it. But
the exact opposite of me. I love physical books. I need.
She and I are going to get along so well here.
Don't get me wrong. I like physical to a certain extent, but I like when I can preserve my #1s and my first appearances and put those in a bag and board or a comic capsule, and then I can just walk around the house on my iPad, read the shit, and move on. Like I'm Gucci like that. Like I'm reading.
What's important is you're reading, and that's all that really matters.
Exactly. like I'm reading Batman the Hill by like that way I can do a review of it, because that if you don't know what Batman the Hill is, it's a book about what happens when Batman goes to the ghetto in the Gotham City. So that's a fun time. It's gonna be a great read. Like B's like, oh. But
as long as we don't get what's his name who wrote the Master Race on that one, I feel like it's gonna be better.
Oh, Frank Miller, yeah,
Frank Miller.
So I think we should be good.
Okay. I feel safe. I feel safe now.
Oh yeah, we love Priest. But yeah, I'm waiting for B to read Priest Black Panther, because then he's gonna be fully with us. It's gonna be great. But we will catch you folks next week right here on Comics Unmasked. We will catch y'all next week. Peace out.